Hey guys, your boy Sean Bellamy back with you in another video on my channel where I review movies, get my thoughts on some certain movies and TV shows. And you can tell by the title, I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on the new, I can say the revamped iCarly, the season 1 of the iCarly that is a Paramount Plus original. This is more so speaking for the people that did watch iCarly when they was younger. I was one of those people. There's some differences, obviously, in this one. For people that don't know, iCarly was a show on Nickelodeon. I want to say back in 2005, 2004. I think 2005. It was on a good amount of time, like 5-6 seasons for Nickelodeon. And like I said, when I was younger, I was a big fan of the show or anything like that. It was like my top 10 shows, but it was something I did enjoy watching. I would, if a new episode would come out, I would try to catch it and stuff like that. But yeah, iCarly was a simple show about, 3 kids, Carly, Sam, and Freddie, basically 3 friends who makes a web series, a web show you want to call it, called iCarly. And you kind of see them dealing with preteen issues, at school, friendships, relationships. Well, sometimes relationships not really big like that, except, like I said, that's the big difference with this one. But yeah, that was pretty much what iCarly was. iCarly also had a big brother named Spencer who makes a return on the show. The one obviously big difference people obviously know by now, have been known since the show came back, is that Jeanette McCurdy was not going to return to the show. She was the one that played Sam. I'm going to explain that one in a bit, as far as when I go over what I like and what I dislike about the show. But yeah, that was pretty much what iCarly was back in 2005. Like I said, I want to believe, and it was definitely on for a good amount of time. So when the news came out that it was coming back, I was like, damn, what the hell are they gonna do now with it? But I mean, they're not playing. The kid gloves are off, I should say, with this brand new one. But again, we'll go over that when we talk about, like I said, we talk about the show. As far as what the plot is for this one, for this time around, the show, as I wrote down in my tablet, it picked up a decade where Carly has moved back to Seattle and shares an apartment with her roommate, with her new best friend, Harper. Spencer's back, like I said, the older brother, and so is Freddie. I'm going to go over to each character. Some, like I said, stay the same, and some new characters, obviously, what they bring to the show and what everything like that. So let's get right into it. Like I said, picks up a decade where Carly's moved back to Seattle, has roommates. As far as Carly's character, Carly's the same. Played by Miranda Cosgrove, who I'm a huge fan of. I love Miranda Cosgrove. I think she does, good job on the show, as she was when she played Carly before. I've been a big fan of Miranda Cosgrove ever since she was Megan. She will always be Megan. I know she'll have other projects down the road, but she will always be Megan from Drake and Josh. It was one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Me personally, I loved her when she was in Megan, when she played Megan on Drake and Josh, and obviously I know she's done other things, going forward in her life, but Megan. That's what I almost be called her when I talk about Carly. But yeah, Carly's really the same. If you know, more so what type of character she was when she was younger. Still the nice, down to earth, at times naive girl. In this situation, being a grown woman now, being an adult, they're all playing characters in their 20s and stuff like that. Well, they're all 20s, but whatever. Yeah, but that's pretty much Carly's character stay the same. If you knew how they said when she was a kid, laid back, chill, but very nice, the person you can go to, you can trust, that type of thing. That's been Carly's character when she was younger. That's the same way she is now, except she's dealing with relationships with, boyfriends and, just trying to find her way in life. And she decides when she does come back, she wants to continue to do iCarly and kind of pick that back up. But yeah, that's Carly's character in a nutshell. As far as Freddie's character changed a bit. Obviously, besides getting older like Carly, he is divorced now. In the show, when the show started, I think episode 1, they immediately got out the way that he was divorced. He does have an adopted stepdaughter named Millicent, who's 11 years old, that he raises and stuff like that, being a dad for her. So, besides, those things are huge. It really was a complete, and also he doesn't have a job. He's an entrepreneur, which I guess you could say is his job, where he tried to come up with apps, and the running gag on the show for the first season that he has failed attempts with these apps, and he tries with asks different people to invest in, and it doesn't work. His daughter Millicent helps from time to time with him, like I said, and that's pretty much Freddie's character as far as entrepreneur, divorced dad. That's what Freddie's character is, which shocked me because I'm going back to, like, in comparing this, you cannot, when you watch this, it's hard not to compare it to the first stint of when Nickelodeon's iCarly back in 2005. There was no dumb characters in the show. No one's really stupid or anything like that. There was a lot of, we made obviously dumb decisions as characters in the show in the first one, but Freddie was, you could argue, probably the smartest person out of Carly and Sam and him. You know, it wasn't like Carly and Sam were stupid, but he was the tech guy. He was the dude that kind of ran things behind the scenes for iCarly when it came to the editing and the filming of it and everything like that. So it was shocking to me when I thought, when they brought his character back for this one, I thought, okay, I'm not saying he's gonna be some big shot, maybe director or tech producer, but I was like, maybe he'll have a job in that field. But no, he had a startup company. He tried. They brought up in season 1 where he had a startup company where it did not work out, a tech company, and he lost money and stuff like that. So he had to move back to Seattle with his mom, who makes a few appearances here and there. But yeah, that was crazy. I was like, dang, I kind of thought they was gonna have Freddie be the tech guy, the big dude that we was kind of when I was seeing him. But it is what it is. I mean, if I like the dynamic they went with Freddie. As far as it's not a bad direction. Him being a divorced stepfather, and that he really does his. You can see him really try to do his the most as far as really trying to teach his his daughter. You could say is what's right and what's wrong and stuff like that. Obviously, gets him in situations, but that's Freddie's character. There's not much to really say about Spencer. Spencer, for the first stint of iCarly, was an artist. He's still an artist in this brand new, revamped version of iCarly. He just, you see him deal with relationships and, say he's still an artist at heart and everything like that. Still the big brother that you can go for, that Freddie and everyone in the show kind of could go to when they need help. He gets himself in situations and stuff like that. But that's pretty much the characters. Carly, Freddie, and Spencer, as far as the personality-wise, there's really not much that really changed for them as far as who they are. As far as, like I said, when it talks personality, just a few things, obviously, them getting older. The new couple new characters in the show was Millicent. Millicent, like I said, is the 11-year-old stepdaughter for Freddie. Millicent is your typical preteen character in these type of shows, these comedy, shows, kid shows where... she's a typical preteen. She's very smart for her age. That's what they have her speak about. Stocks and business, and really knows her way at a lot around as far as helping her dad with business things and help. That's really much it. I keep saying business, but that's really her character. Millicent she's not a bad character by any means, but she, whenever Freddie's on the scene, she's there. She at times berates Carly, that Carly can't dress. Carly be making no sense sometimes. Like she's I won't call her the moral compass of the cast because again she's only 11, but at times she be the one to be saying insightful things when she's there. That's Millicent's character. The next character is Harper. Now Harper, like I said, is the roommate of Carly. She's their new best friend because obviously Jeanette McCurdy and / Sam, she's not there. Harper's character is gay. She's a lesbian character, and I'm bringing that up because the woman that played her, I'm sorry, I forgot to write down people's names that played who. Everyone does a good job. I'm not trying to say no one's bad on the show, but the young woman that plays Harper, she got a lot of flack for that. A lot of people was giving her shit because she was a black lesbian, playing this character and stuff like that, playing Harper. And I really find that just absolutely fucking childish. Listen, it's 2021, man. If you are that narrow-minded where you still can't accept that people are gay or a lesbian, whatever you want to call it, dude, I don't understand why the fuck it kills people that much where they have to berate somebody. Because I don't know if it was a report I read or it was on Twitter where people were saying she received so much hate just because it was reported that she was going to be playing a black lesbian on TV. And I don't even, maybe it had nothing to do with her being black, but the fact that she was gay is what bothered people. And I guess I don't fucking understand. It's dumb. But yes, besides that, that's not just Harper's character. I wasn't just saying like that's all Harper is. No, Harper is more things too. She's somewhat the best friend for Carly. She's best friend of Carly's. Constantly there to help her, the friend that you can go to when you need help. And she's I want to say an aspiring fashion designer or a fashion designer. Like she's got that's her actual job, like as far as that's her career. She's just trying to make a career out of it. Near the end of the season, we see her land with a pop star called Double Dutch, where she, like I said, she's like the fashion designer for Double Dutch, and where she comes up with her clothes, her dresses, and stuff like that. We also find that at the end of the season, which I'm going to talk about as far as what happened at the end and how I feel about it. Harper does end up, her and Double Dutch start a relationship. They kiss near the end of the, yes, two women kissing. It's in the show for the last season, for the last episode of the season, where Double Dutch and Harper do go more than a business relationship or a professional relationship. They kind of start a personal one near the end. That as far as it is when it comes to the characters. I'm sorry if I wasn't really big detail who everyone was, but again, that's really in a nutshell what their characters. The characters are in the show: Carly, Freddie, Spencer, Millicent, and Harper. There was a character that did jump in the show, and that was Maeve. Maeve was I won't know if I would call her recurring. Maybe she'll constantly keep coming back, so maybe I can say recurring character. She's not like a main character on the show. But Maeve was the cousin, or is the cousin of Harper's. And it was the story behind Maeve's character was that she was kidnapped, basically gone, and was kidnapped for 4 years. And she made a return. I don't know if it was episode 7 or 8. She made a return. And it basically, what we found out is that we found out, I think, in episode 12 or 11, that Maeve was never kidnapped. She lied about being kidnapped for 4 years because I guess she was trying to escape, debt collectors and, basically whatever. And then she comes back, and that was the story with Maeve. I personally do not like that. I know this is about Carly. I know I'm probably overthinking it, as far as the characters and stuff, and what the show is about. It's not about Maeve, I know, but I thought at first that was an interesting dynamic for Maeve's character. I thought, this is a woman, thinking about it, I was like, yo, dang, this is a woman that was kidnapped for 4 years. She has to, she's come back. She's living with her cousin, and Carly now living with, I think she started a relationship with Spencer, but they break it off. So I don't know if she's going to make a comeback with that or whatever. That's why maybe I'm not going to call her recurring. Maybe she doesn't come back. But overall, man, she was a character, a young lady that was kidnapped for 4 years. And then when she comes back, I was thinking, okay, this is a nice little story for her. She has to kind of adjust the way the world is now. She's been gone for 4 years. Like, life is different, obviously, from 4 years ago. So I thought that was going to be something interesting with her, but we really don't get anything from that, because immediately, like I said, 2 episodes or so later in the season, when they did bring her into the fold, come to find out she was never kidnapped. So it kind of destroyed that, let's say, that aura about her, but that character arc, like, oh, okay, well, she's just this person that lied about being kidnapped for 4 years, and her and Harper just immediately, Harper is not bothered by it. Well, she's bothered at first, but then they immediately they immediately become cool at the end of it. I don't know if anyone in real life, if you found out that your favorite cousin or your brother, your sister, whoever, faked being kidnapped for 4 years just so they can escape debt collectors and escape paying back money they have to pay back or whatever, and we're okay with it after 1 discussion or 2 discussions, I guess you should say. I don't like how they did that for Maeve. So again, I guess I'll call her a recurring character. Like, maybe she'll, like I said before, her and Spencer did date for the first few episodes she was in the fold, and then they break it off because they realized that they was moving too fast and the honeymoon phase is over and all that other BS that they always give you about why you should take some space from each other. But yeah, so I don't know if Maeve is, I guess, like I said before, I'll call Maeve a recurring character. Maybe she will keep coming back on season 2 and as the show goes on. So that's pretty much it for the characters, you guys. Like I said, I'm sorry if I wasn't super in depth about the characters, but again, that's what they are in a fold. Now, the way that the season ended, I'll go over my good and bad first. The good thing I liked about the show is, like I said, the cast was great. I thought everyone in the cast did a good job, from Miranda Cosgrove all the way down. I thought everyone did a good job. The writing wasn't bad or anything like that. I don't think the writing was like terrible. It wasn't great or anything crazy, but masterful. But it wasn't bad. I mean, the show was it's very easy to follow what the show is. Again, it's just Carly and her friends just trying to her brother and her friends just trying to the life, going through life and stuff like that. Now, the other good thing, because which I feel like for me is the good, is the difference, the huge difference that it is between the first and this one. So like I said, in 2005 when the show, premiered back then, and they was kids, Carly, Sam, and Freddie, and it was on Nickelodeon and tailored towards kids. This is what kids, people like young preteens stuff could watch. This time around, the reason why I say I put it in my good category is the fact that they understand that it had to be different. Carly, like I said, they're Carly, Freddie, they're in their 20s now. Freddie has a child. He has a daughter, and they deal with relationships. But when I tell you, man, the difference is, it's hilarious how crazy it is, because there's sexual innuendos in the jokes now. They constantly are not afraid to push over the line of what they're talking. Like I said, you have a gay character in Harper. They are not afraid at times to really go over the line, and really, they don't show nothing crazy. I'm not saying like there's sex or anything on the show, but like I said, I just like the fact that the writers understand this is not your kids iCarly no more. I should say, if I'm making sense, this is a grown-up version. Like these kids are grown up now. We can't keep having them. You can't have it where you're trying to tailor towards children, and even though they're in their 20s and they're going through life. And that's what I like to see from the show. There's a lot of growth with the characters as you see as it goes on through the first season, where they're dealing with relationships, they're dealing with the society, how the world is, and everything like that. And I think it's pretty dope how they kind of brought this show in the 13 episodes they did it. That is as far as the good. Oh, also, I would say it was good for me was what I thought was good was 13. I thought the episodes for having 13 episodes was great. The season's over now. I think it ended August 26th. Because I think back then the iCarly stint on Nickelodeon, I think it was like 20-some episodes. I swear I think it was 20 episodes. I think in 2021, man, if your show, I don't care if it's a comedy, I don't care if it's a mystery, I don't care if it's a horror. If you have a TV show, man, TV shows should just be minimum 10, maximum 13. It's just so much better when shows only have 13 because, or that much, because there's so much you can do in 13 episodes compared to having 20. I know some people say, well, Sean, that makes no sense. If there's more episodes on a season, then there's more you could do. No, because that just be filler. When you see, if there was 20-some episodes for iCarly, I would probably not been a big fan of it, because it's hard to stay, I should say, in tune with it when it's that many episodes in a season. I cannot stand when there's 20-something episodes, because episodes 12 through 19 are going to be a bunch of filler, and then they realize, hey, shoot, it's 21 episodes, it's our 21st episode. We got to throw in some weird plot or whatever, some plot twist to keep people interested going on to the next season. Just minimum 10, maximum 13. I like that they did through 13. That's fine. The only sad part, of course, is that, damn, after 13 episodes, that quick of a season, shit, we gotta wait till next year for season 2 to come out, whatever. But regardless, I'm just happy they gave us 13. I'll take that. Now, the one thing I did not, moving on to the bad things I didn't like, I knew this was going to be in the show. I mean, again, it was just like in the first stint. Nickelodeon still have their hands on this shit. So I was like, okay, the laugh track. I cannot stand the fucking laugh track. I feel like every freaking joke on the show, or every joke they was writing, it had to have a laugh track. Where the studio audience, or I don't know if they did it in front of a live audience or not, the point is that it was always the laugh track. Listen, some of my favorite TV shows of all time, 30 Rock, Modern Family, just to name a few, hashtag Black AF on Netflix. There's more, trust me. Those shows, I love comedy shows so much when they don't have a laugh track, when the audience actually has to pay attention to the joke. I don't like when you kind of you're just already been told the punchline, or you already seen a punchline because the audience starts laughing. I cannot stand that. That shit is so annoying. And I think I'm pretty sure just like the Nickelodeon shows today, every goddamn joke on iCarly, of this revamped iCarly on Paramount Plus, the fucking laugh track just kept going off and off and off. And I'm like, dude, everything does not need a damn laugh track. It's like everything a character said, the crowd or whatever had to start laughing. It was, and some of the jokes were even that funny to fucking laugh. I hate laugh tracks. The other thing I did not like is the way the season ended. Now, the way the season ended was, well, we go back to the beginning. Episode 1, Carly, like I said, her boyfriend, and when I explained her character before, she had a boyfriend that broke up with her. His name was Bo. He basically broke up with her during a live stream. I don't know if they were doing iCarly or not, but it was a live stream. And he broke up with her. That was pretty much it. And so she's, sad, whatever, and that goes on. And there at the end of the season, I think it was episode 11 or 12, she gets a new boyfriend named Wes. Wes is an auto mechanic who she meets after her car gets all beat up and everything like that. And she realizes her car, is not running properly anymore. So she calls a mechanic and, they kind of fall for each other. Wes and Carly. Now, Wes' character's cool. So I was like, okay, that's a relationship for her. You can bring that on to the next season. That's cool. Because like I said, at the time, it was like episode 12, 13, where I was like, all right, this is going to be cool. But episode 13, so they got to go to WebaCon, whatever, so Carly can get her Lifetime Achievement Award. And the person presenting her award is is Bo, her ex-boyfriend. And I was already off the episode because I said, okay, this is what's going to happen. They're in this situation where they all are together. Wes is with her, and it's like, shit. They're going to go through this cliche of, oh my goodness, Carly's going to have to choose between West or Bo, her ex-boyfriend, her new boyfriend, and that's what they're going to leave the show at. And I immediately guessed that, and then out of nowhere, right into the end, right, I was right. All the way in the end, up to the end, I was right. They leave it on this huge, cliffhanger, what they think is huge, not really huge to me, but huge on a huge cliffhanger where it's the decision if Carly's going to stay with Wes or is she going to go back to Bo, because Bo admits to her that he should never broke up with her in the first place. Yuck. I say yuck because I cannot stand that shit. Oh my goodness. I am a softie. I am a romantic at times, but when you see shows do that, it's just so played out where you have these characters constantly dealing with decisions that don't need to really be dealing with. Like, I get it that we are adults, we're adults. Everyone goes through situations, kids, you get older, adults, you deal with that, but I cannot see in a situation where if I had somebody, or any woman for that matter, would be with somebody, they break up with them on a live stream in front of her many subscribers of iCarly and her friends, and you're telling me the girl would want to go back to the guy just because he admitted that he made a mistake? I just, in the way that they set it up too, I thought the writers could have did a better job of setting up the Bo coming back possibility, because what I mean by that is we didn't see Bo's character or mention of Bo's character, I think, for like the last 4 freaking episodes. There was no mention of Bo, and they only brought Bo back for that reason, just to start up some unnecessary drama and get everybody thinking, oh my goodness, is Carly going to choose Wes? Is she going to choose Bo? I just feel like it was just a childish thing. And again, I get it. There's some moments they're definitely tailored towards children. I still feel that a lot of their demographic now, or at least they're who they're trying to get to, the demographic is the adults. So I don't see adults constantly dealing with some childish thing like that. There's no way I can see an adult be like, man, maybe I should go back to my ex-boyfriend or girlfriend after they completely embarrassed me and I already just started this new relationship with this other guy that I'm falling for, or girl I'm falling for. It just seems ridiculous. So yeah, they left it on that, where again, Bo admits that he still loves her. Wes tells her, I do love you, and they leave it where Carly has not even made the decision. They're going to go into season 2. It's been renewed for season 2, which I think is good. But they're going to go right into season 2, where we're going to have to find out what decision she's going to make. And that, to me, is just stupid. I think that sucks. I don't like that as an ending. So yeah, that was another thing I didn't like. The also thing I did not like, but I understood, was the fact that Sam wasn't there, aka Jeanette McCurdy. Jeanette McCurdy, man, I like Jeanette McCurdy, and the story I heard when her situation when she dealt with Nickelodeon, I'm not going to go into huge details, and the fact that when she dealt with her family on times she was on set doing iCarly and everything like that with the directors and the producers of the show, she had a lot of issues with Nickelodeon and just being a child actress before, like I said, years ago. She's all grown up now. And she explained that a lot. I think she had her own podcast. She was on radio with people, and they talk about why she's not coming back. But yeah, listen, Sam was my favorite character when I was younger, when I watched iCarly. I thought Sam was dope. The attitude, the I take no prisoners type thing. Listen, as a kid, that was dope to me. I love Sam's character. If you would have put Sam, Jeanette McCurdy, in this show where I just told you the kid gloves are off, they're sex, like as far as like they're talking about sexual things and they're, the way the world is and politics. If you would have put a Jeanette McCurdy in this show, Oh my goodness, yo, Sam would literally, just jump off the wall. I think Sam would be the best character on the show. I'm not saying everyone else is boring or terrible. I think that everyone from, like I said, Miranda Cosgrove down does a good job. But Jeanette McCurdy would have killed it as Sam. I think Sam's character would have been dope for a show like this when there's no, like, they're not afraid to crossing the line type show it's doing at times. So and I put that in my I don't like, but I understand, I guess. You could put that in the weird category. I got that. I understand, man. This is more about her than it's not about, what we would want as fans. But I really wish she was doing the show, man, because I think Jeanette McCurdy would have killed it. Would have did a good job. She would have did a hell of a job. But yeah, so that's the big that's one of, again, the biggest difference. Obviously, like I said, the kid gloves are off. It's at times not afraid to go over the line and stuff like that and stretch out. Like, oh shit, they're really going here. There was a moment in the show where in the season where it was brought up to Freddie and Carly's attention that this one girl wanted to have a threesome with them, and it was hilarious. In that way. What I kind of hope what happens, and I know I brought up about the whole boyfriend, girlfriend, as far as she's going to choose Bo, she's going to choose Wes. I'm kind of still open on, hoping you have a prayer here that Freddie and Carly do give their relationship a chance. Because in the the first iCarly back in 2005, Freddie's character, Nathan Kress's character, Freddie, he actually loved Carly, obsessively. He loved Carly, and then there was a show he ended up going out with Sam, but later on in the seasons. But he liked Carly first, so I kind of want to see with them all grown up now, with Freddie having a kid, and like I said, them dealing with issues. You know what? Why not see a Sam and Freddie? I keep saying that. Carly and Freddie's relationship, and see if they actually do try to, put them together and see where that goes, and see. I think it'd be interesting dynamic for the show. But again, at this point, I don't know. Maybe they won't touch base on that. Maybe Freddie will just be that friend for the shoulder to cry on, the friend zone kind guy, and whatever. I'm not gonna say the show's gonna be bad if they never get together, but that's where that's what I said. That's where the show probably. I think that would be interesting if both, because I'm thinking that it's going to happen, that at some point Freddie and Carly are going to be in a situation where they end up kissing, or I don't know. Again, the show doesn't not afraid to step over lines, so maybe they'll have an accidentally have a one night stand or something where they both got drunk or whatever. I'm not putting it past this show. Again, they're not afraid to cross that threshold. Again, but overall, I thought it was a good first season. I think it's very simple. It's as far as a comedy show goes. Yeah, but it was renewed for a second season, and I think like I said, the cast and the staff, they did a good job with it. It was nothing perfect, but again, I still think the show would be 10 times better if they got rid of the goddamn laugh track. I just can't get over that laugh track. I hate the laugh track. But yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. Again, I recommend people watch this show. Again, if you don't have to ever have watched the first one when they was kids to understand it, I mean, I guess you would have to, but it's not that big of a deal if you didn't. Again, they're just grown up now. Also, I forgot to mention, I'm sorry too, the other big difference is, like I said, the first stint with iCarly, when they was kids, they would always go through an issue. There was a theme throughout the show. They was going through a problem, no matter if it was Freddie, Sam, or Carly, or Spencer, and at the end, so through the middle of the episode, constantly in the middle, they would deal with the issue. They would have problems. Then at the end, they would resolve the issue. And then they would have an iCarly episode kind of around that issue or whatever they was dealing with or whatever problem they was facing. This time around, you rarely see her do the iCarly show. Like, there's a few episodes where she does do it, but it's not like in your face like it was before. I'm not saying it was bad before, but you rarely see her do the show. She'll talk about iCarly and say maybe it should be, maybe I should do this for the next iCarly episode, but you never really see her do it. I think that is also a huge difference. We rarely see her actually do, have Freddie doing the filming and or doing the camera work and everything. There's rare in that time where you rarely see her doing iCarly. I think that is interesting. Again, I think that's an interesting dynamic for the fact that it plays off to the fact that things are different. So that is it, you guys. Again, I had a long review for this. As you can see, it's almost 30 minutes. But I am out, you guys. Peace.